Imagine an automated trading algorithm that, absolutely dominates the market on Monday and then just loses basically an entire season's worth of accumulated gains by Thursday.
It is wild.
It really is. Well, welcome to a new deep dive. Today, we have our hands on some proprietary data logs from July 6th through July 10th, 2026.
Right.
And our mission here is to track this dramatic week-long trajectory. We are looking at how a violent market fracture just destroyed one algorithm while its competitor barely flinched.
Yeah, and before we even get into that, we need to state our strict disclaimer right off the bat.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because this deep dive is strictly a behavioral analysis of these algorithmic data logs. It is shared purely for research purposes.
Yeah.
This is absolutely not investment advice, and we are not making any predictions about future market results.
Exactly. You are solely responsible for your own investment decisions. We are just here to look at the why. So on one side of this data, we have Team Mountain Climbers operating on equilibrium detection. And on the other, Team Wave Riders relying on surging force tracking, which is essentially momentum logic. Okay, let's unpack this.
So the drama really starts when you look at the environmental shift. To understand how these algorithms survived, we track their performance against the Nikkei 225 and 2 Parigs indexes.
Right.
And on Monday, July 6th, the Wave Riders were just thriving. Their surging force logic was holding a very healthy plus 49.8 season points.
Which, just for context, is a proprietary metric measuring accumulated algorithmic confidence and, simulated profit over a time frame.
Exactly. But then Thursday, July 9th hits, and the environment just completely fractures. The Wave Riders took an absolute beating.
It was a bloodbath, right?
Oh, completely. A brutal daily drop of minus 40.1 points. It dragged their entire season total down to minus 34.6.
Wow.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the mountain climbers stayed perfectly resilient. They maintained positive season totals all week and consistently beat both the Nikkei and the 2 Parigs.
While the Wave Riders basically stayed in the negative against the 2 Parigs all week.
Precisely.
It is honestly like watching surfers getting caught in a sudden, violent hurricane, while the rock climbers are just safely anchored to the wall.
That is a great way to put it.
Well, wait, let me stop you there. Given this massive divergence from the indexes, does this data suggest the market shifted from, a predictable peacetime into a historical turning point?
It really does. It highlights the vulnerability of momentum-based logic when market environments suddenly fracture. When you have a predictable peacetime environment, momentum logic is incredibly efficient.
Right, because you just ride the wave.
Exactly. But the second the macroeconomic road suddenly curves into a historical turning point, well, momentum algorithms get caught leaning the wrong way.
Yeah.
Whereas equilibrium detection, which the mountain climbers use, operates more like a gyroscope. It constantly micro-adjusts to find a baseline, regardless of how the terrain shifts beneath it.
Which makes me wonder, how did anything relying on momentum survive Thursday's crash? Because the data shows, by Friday, July 10th, 10 out of 20 Wave Riders still managed to hold positive points.
Yeah, and for the record, only 10 out of 17 mountain climbers held positive points.
Right. So we look at the 10-session exit survivors. These are algorithmic units programmed to evaluate their positions over a rolling 10-day window before exiting.
Right, and a few managed to scrape out positive scores late in a very harsh climate. For the mountain climbers, the transportation equipment sector closed out with plus 0.9 points.
Okay.
But what is really fascinating here is the Wave Riders. Their rubber products unit managed plus 5.2 points.
Wait, really? How does a momentum algorithm pull plus 5.2 points in a fractured market where its own core logic is actively failing?
Well, it is not really about the profit itself. It is an observation of why specific sector logic temporarily adapts. Because momentum logic usually relies on broad macroeconomic tailwinds.
Right, big picture stuff.
Exactly. But in a sector like rubber products, you likely had a localized supply chain shock or, an isolated demand spike. That creates an intense, isolated micro trend. The surging force algorithm latched onto that specific local momentum, temporarily adapting by completely bypassing the broader market fracture that ground down the rest of the roster.
That is just wild. It really shows that these logs aren't just a postmortem. This week represents a watershed moment that redefines the battlefield for the rest of the season.
Absolutely. And this highlights Team AI Lab's unwavering philosophy. You do not just throw the code out after a crash. Even a week of severe attrition is a vital stepping stone.
Yeah, you use it for future algorithmic tuning.
Exactly.
Well, it is all data for the next iteration. But a quick reminder for you listening, any final investment decisions you make are entirely your own responsibility. We are just here to share the research data logs.
Yes, exactly.
If you want to keep tracking this evolution with us, subscribe to the channel, click the link in the video description to visit the Substack, and sign up for a Substack subscription to access all the detailed parsing data.
I highly recommend it if you want to see the exact numerical thresholds where these adaptations triggered.
Absolutely. So we will leave you with this to ponder. If equilibrium detection so handily outlasted momentum during this brutal week, what hidden market forces might these algorithms be forced to adapt to next?